One day, you have a number in your head. Everyone has a number in their head. When I make this much money, my life will be perfect. So if I was just making $500,000, if I was just making $1 million, I'm telling you, when I hit that million, life is going to get perfect. I was taught faith first, family second, career third. And if you take care of your faith and your family, everything else will work out. As an engineer, it was career first, career second, career third. And please don't talk about your faith. And if you've got family problems, certainly don't bring them to work. And when people come with me with some like outlandish idea, I'm like, go for it. Because I would rather them fall on their face and break all their teeth than wonder the rest of their life if they had what it took.
You're listening to Wise Women with Daisy Khan, where faith rolls up its sleeves as a force for good and where women define the future with wisdom and wonder. I'm Daisy Khan. Kindly subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Today's episode is going to be about redefining success, not just in terms of career, but also in faith, family, and purpose. And today I'm joined by a wonderful coach, Rina Makhdoom, also known as Rina Motivates. She's the author of Mom Boss, a book that challenges the idea that success must come through traditional career paths. She's created a guide to help women build family-first financial freedom and also living intentionally. So welcome, Rina, to Wise Women.
Oh, Daisy, it's so exciting to speak to you again. And I'm so looking forward to sharing our thoughts with our viewers.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this because you and I are being led some similar paths. And I was fascinated when I read your story, especially that you climbed the corporate ladder, was earning a six-figure salary, but yet you felt this kind of emptiness. So I wanted to ask you, what did that emptiness actually feel like?
You work your butt off, and sometimes you're like, success should not be feeling like this. Success should not feel this hollow. And I just felt like there is something more to life. I was tired of all those holes in my heart.
Well, there's that abyss, like now that I have all the material comfort.
What next?
So what was the question that then precipitated that desire to move on to something else?
Well, luckily Allah intervened. I thought I had a great life, alhamdulillah, married, 4 kids, all the good stuff. When I intervened, I was just married, so no kids yet. And we were pretty broke, but I was invited to a business meeting. And Daisy, these women were better dressed than me, more confident than me, way better makeup than me, and happier than I was. And what blew my mind was I had a master's of science in electrical engineering. They're ding-dong ladies selling makeup and they're making more money than me. And I was like, what is wrong with this picture? And then, so that night, just something in my heart said yes. Even though I'm an engineer, I hate sales. I wasn't good back then at talking to people, but just something in my heart said yes. And over the years, as I started spending time with them, I would look at people who had been engineers for 30 years, right? And what people that had been in sales and in this company for 30 years. And I was like, I want their lifestyle. That's what I want. And so that's what kind of like started shifting my path. It was so scary to try something that your whole life you've been told you're not.
When I was reading your bio, you were looking at life through the lens of the afterlife, like what we call the asking what you'd wish you'd done more of when it was all over, that last day, right?
Yeah.
The moment you're ready to die, you're like, okay, what did I not do?
Legacy.
And to me, that sounds very much like a very powerful decision-making tool that kind of reorients your life. So can you walk me through the first time that you made that hard choice?
I was in my 20s. I was so blessed because I had mentors, and these mentors were 20 years, 25 years ahead of me. They are starting to talk about life path, none of which you have in your 20s. In 20s, everything's going to work out. The guy's going to love you forever. You're never going to have a single problem. Your mother-in-law is going to be cool and normal. You don't think any of these things can actually happen to you. But that's when I started thinking about my legacy. And one of the questions they would ask is, what will it say on your tombstone? That was the beginning of it.
You were very successful and you were making six-figure salary, but you decided to pivot and leave all that. How did that happen? And was that terrifying?
It was terrifying. So I had my first son, and that's when that tug started coming. That 60, 80-hour week wasn't as easy as it used to be. The travel demands weren't quite what they used to be. And I actually had somewhere I wanted to spend more time, like other than being a workaholic. I had some purpose other than workaholic. And probably the day that I really killed me was I had my second son. So I've been struggling for 3 years on what do I do? How do I raise these kids? Of course, I'm married and I couldn't get them in the same daycare center. So imagine, Daisy, I'm driving to daycare center one, daycare center two, office, pick up daycare center one, daycare center two, come home, feed them, change them, bathe them, do it again. And my youngest son was the happiest baby. And I laid him down and he's just smiling at me and he wants to play and he's smiling at me. And I'm looking at all the other daycare workers and they're feeding other kids. No one wants to love this kid, including his mother. And that killed me. So at that point, I was very motivated to do whatever it took. And I decided, you know what? You own me from 9 to 5, but the lunch hours are mine. And I made sure that every lunch hour I built on my commute, remember, no internet, handing out business cards on my commute, no Facebook, no email messaging, nothing, to women going into work, doing makeovers on lunch hours in the museums because I was a federal employee and I couldn't use any federal property, and then handing out business cards on my way home. And that's how
So you started a business on the side.
yeah, because my kids were in daycare. Otherwise, what do you do? And yes, my husband was kind of supportive, but like they do it and then you got to hear it. And so to me, it was like I never had that rah-rah cheerleader, I'm behind you, babe, kind of marriage. That's how I built my business, was on my commutes and lunch hours.
I'm drawing a lesson from this because oftentimes people stay in the same thing longer than they should, simply out of fear of the unknown. But you took a leap. I've learned is the sacrifice is temporary and regret is permanent. When you do something, that regret is so deep. Like today, you could be saying to yourself, I wish I had spent more time with my kids. That's a great lesson, but that journey could not have been easy. Tell me about the low points.
I have no income coming in, and you're addicted to that income. Let me tell you that.
Rely on it.
That paycheck coming in every other week. I'm at the grocery store and I've got one kid here, one kid in the car. The baby's sitting and I'm looking at milk, and it was probably like $2 a gallon back then. And I'm like, God, I wonder if I can buy milk next week. Will I have money to feed them next week? That's where you are, because you know, the spigot has been cut off and it's all on you. Now, at this point, I had built a business. I was successful. I did have a company car and all, but it was just like, now it's all on me. And it was all commission based. So you had good days and bad days, good weeks and bad weeks. It fluctuated. Whereas that drip of that constant paycheck, the 401k, all the things that people tell you you need. But here's what I realize, okay? You think that job is a safety net. The safety net, it isn't under you, it's above you. It's the net that's keeping you down. So understand that any kind of netting, it's always above you. It keeps you from flying, not keeps you from falling.
And as the numbers dip into the bank account, you start relying more and more on prayer and your own ability to do something and to create something. That's where the creativity comes in. The business that you started, was it a home business?
Yeah, it was a home-based business. It was with a multi-level marketing company selling cosmetics, which was totally opposite of what I was. And part of the reason I really liked it was everything I was not. It was confidence. It was sales. It was girly. It was everything that I had to challenge myself. So I think what I really liked about it was, who will I become? I was pushing myself. It was kind of my edge. And what I really enjoyed about it is, let me tell you, when you're handing out business cards face to face to women on Metro, so much rejection, I can't even tell you. And then you become
a politician. That's like those poor politicians who are handing out flyers and nobody wants to take it from them.
It's like that door to door, but you know, here it's you or doesn't message you. You never see them again. I mean, this is like face to face. You see their facial reaction. You're in their energy field. But I became immune to rejection, to having what people thought. I became immune to so many things. So the lessons were worth it on the other side. And I became Rina 2.0, then Rina 3.0, and it just got better and better. And the version of me now, if I'd stayed an engineer, I came in like this, I would have left like this, my income would have gone up. But the way I entered the business, the version of me now, people are like, oh, you're so confident. Oh, you're fearless. Oh, you travel a lot. Oh, you try anything. But that's a developed muscle. And if you're not going to develop it, guess what? No one's going to give it to you, girl.
So listen, I'm sure that you made all kinds of mistakes and mishaps happened and you had to learn, like you said, build muscle. So what are the biggest mistakes that you see women make that you don't want them to make when they start a business or start an income? How could they avoid it?
The first one is they ask everyone's opinion. Daisy, what do you think if I leave my engineering job and try selling lipstick? What will you think, Daisy?
They have to build a consensus. They need to get everybody's buy-in before they start something.
And you realize, and this is for us as women and everyone listening here, you could make or break someone's dream. The first person I told that I was going to do this was my father. And he said, "Bache, go see what they have to say." Now, the second person, when I told my mother, she was like, "You're going to start stealing money from people." I was blessed that the first person happened to support the idea. Because if my dad had said it was a scam, I would have never gone. My parents had that much influence over me. So next time your friend comes with some nut job idea, and when people come with me with some like outlandish idea, I'm like, go for it. Because I would rather them fall on their face and break all their teeth than wonder the rest of their life if they had what it took.
That's go break a leg and learn how to walk again. That's how we realize our potential. And all these things that you're juggling, childcare and now starting your business and tending to a husband. You must have created a structure to manage all this because according to your bio, I read that you run your schedule by faith and family first.
The neat thing is you always keep growing. And I was taught faith first, family second, career third. And if you take care of your faith and your family, everything else will work out. As an engineer, it was career first, career second, career third. And please don't talk about your faith. And if you've got family problems, certainly don't bring them to work. My biggest blessing was that I've spent a lot of time with my kids. I was a stay-at-home mom that had tons of cash, tons of time. And usually that is not the easy part. But I think some of the hardest things were like getting consensus. The second thing was to admit I needed help. I was like Superwoman, I was Wonder Woman, I was all these things. My business started to skyrocket when I got help. I got a lady to come 4 hours, like 2 or 3 times a week to teach Quran to my kids. That meant like 4 hours of uninterrupted work for me. And can you imagine when you're a mom and you're getting pulled and the minute you start doing something, the kid spills a drink or the TV doesn't turn on or whatever. And so now I just had like little chunks of focus. And so I could actually like leave the house. And again, remember, no internet. I'd go to Walmart or the mall, hand out cards, get women. And then I would do makeovers in my home at nap time. So whenever the youngest one was napping, that was the most control because the youngest are the hardest to manage. And then I would do makeovers that way. But get the help you need. And guys do this naturally. You can't tell a guy to stay up late cleaning the kitchen. You can't tell a guy that don't exercise. You can't tell a guy don't take a shower in the morning. But how many of us have done that? How many of us threw our exercise routine out, threw our eating routine out, throw our sleeping routine out? My mentor always used to say, what every successful woman needs, a wife. And, your husband has a wife, but you also need that role fulfilled in your life.
You need somebody who's actually going to help you do the things that you want to do in your life because you're managing so many responsibilities. And so for moms who are looking to get out of the rut of a day job, is there something you can suggest, a home business idea that they can generate, which generates halal income for them, or something that they feel this is the permissible revenue I want to be getting in my life?
Yes, absolutely. And now with the internet, with social media, it's so much easier to make money than handing out cards face to face to people. You could email blast 1,000 people in 1 minute, right? So first thing I would say is, what does your heart say? Do you love to cook? Do you love kids? Do something with that. Do you love teaching? Do something like that. So first of all, like why I loved makeup was all my friends, we wore the same makeup. We went to conferences. I had a blast. It never felt like work. So there is something in this world that Allah has made that is not going to feel like work to you. So whatever you do, don't get another job, because a lot of people get a business that's basically another job. Instead of working for someone else, they're working for themselves, but it's like the same pressure. Does that make sense?
Yeah, find out what is your innate talent
Yeah.
and take that talent and build that into a business. And that's why I want to go back to corporate. Some of us who have been in the corporate world understand the kind of discipline that you get from and the lessons
Structure.
you learn, the structure, the lesson, especially you're an engineer. I was an architectural designer. So we were both in the business of building stuff, right? So some of those skills are very transferable to anything else like discipline, problem solving, and they transfer very easily to having some sort of freedoms that we want to have. So has that changed how you see money now from a scorecard to an actual tool?
What I'm going to tell our viewers a secret. One day you have a number in your head. Everyone has a number in their head. When I make this much money, my life will be perfect. So if I was just making $500,000, if I was just making $1 million, I'm telling you, when I hit that $1 million, life is going to get perfect. And I will tell you, God will get you there. And life will not be perfect. And you will realize the number was just a number. Whether it's like, once I get this many followers, once I get my kids hit second grade and I won't have to drive them around. I had all those milestones. Once the baby starts first grade, I'll have more time. Once this happens, but no. Whatever is happening now, there's a blessing in now. So take care of the now. You can do a little dreaming today. You can make a little extra money today. Nothing is going to change because you'll still be you, whether you're making this much money or this much money. You'll still be you, whether your relationships are here or here. So you're not going to change yourself, make yourself better. And one of the things we were drilled was that your car is a university. Never drive unless you're learning something. You know, with podcasts and all these videos online, you could be learning 24/7 and books on tape and stuff. Back then, you can come to my basement. I probably have 1,000 books and CD programs that I bought. Not like free podcasts, not like free YouTube people that I bought and I listened to. I invested in myself because, again, I didn't want to stay Rina 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. I wanted to be the best version I could be. And some of that meant I had to invest in myself as well as my business, as well as my family, as well as my husband, as well as my in-laws.
You also mentioned that you have a very special relationship with your children because it was because of your son, the birth of your two children, that you began thinking about what a greater purpose in your life. How have you rebuilt your life around your kids?
So what I would say is everything you want from your kids, show them how to do it. So 15 years ago, I'm afraid of heights. And we were in Auckland, New Zealand. My whole goal was to take my kids around the world, have them break bread with everybody so no one would ever tell them what to think about any person, any country, any race, religion, and have their own opinion. So we're in Auckland, and the Auckland Tower is 630 feet high, and there's a sky jump where you just wear a rope and you jump off. 12 seconds, you're on the ground. Now imagine, I'm afraid of heights. And my whole thing was, the kids were like, "Oh, Mom, are you going to do it? You're afraid of heights." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to do it," because I had to show my kids. And I told my team, always face your fears. And I'm telling you, Daisy, when I was doing that sky jump and all roped up and all, I was like, "Allah, what kind of dumb lesson am I teaching these people about face your fears? This is not a good idea." But no, I showed them. I was the mom that had goals. We sit here and say, "Oh, go try out for the debate team, go do this." Meanwhile, all the parents are sitting in their comfort zone, watching TV, doing the same stuff that they mastered 20, 30, 40 years ago. I was out there. They saw me, especially like when after I wasn't commuting anymore, I would do like booths at gyms and dance studios, and I would hand out cards to people. And sometimes there were fairs and the kids would be running around and they'd see me get rejected and they'd see what people said and they'd see how I was still smiling. And you know, they learned from that. So I never told them anything. I showed them. I showed them how to live life. I never told them, because success is caught, not taught.
So you're not just transferring knowledge and values to your children, you're also transferring some of your skills, the survival skills, the kind of things that they will need in their lives. Now, you also said that you travel 7 continents with your 4 kids.
Yeah.
So tell me, are there any gems that in those trips that you will never forget?
All the trips, they were amazing. Like I said, my whole goal was to show my kids the world so that no one would ever tell them what to think. I feel like in cultures where people don't travel, they become smaller because they don't want to interact with people who are like this or people who are like that. So some of the funnest things, the Auckland sky jump, I snorkeled the Great Barrier Reef. We went to Antarctica. I don't know if you know, they have tsunamis a lot in Antarctica because when the glacier ice falls in a bay, it displaces all this water. So we had a little mini tsunami in Paradise Bay. Our school system teaches them about ancient Egypt. So we took a cruise down the Nile and they saw ancient Egypt. And then in fifth grade, when they learned the animal life cycle, we went to the Serengeti and they saw the animal life cycle. They saw the lion chase down the wildebeest to eat the zebra and the whole circle of life thing. And oceanography, we did the Great Barrier Reef. What you're looking for in life, you want time freedom and location freedom. You want to work anytime you want. That meant like I could work hard now and take off a month and not tell anybody. And then you want location freedom. So if I had to do something, especially now with the internet, I can work from anywhere. So I just did a river cruise down in Amsterdam. And my friend's like, God, you can take so much time off. And I was like, no, I probably worked 5 or 6 hours on that cruise, but I had internet. What else do you need?
As long as you got that Wi-Fi connection.
And it's not like I was working 40 hours on the river cruise, but that's what I was saying. You want time and location freedom so you can do what you want when you want. I'm not telling you you're not going to work, and I'm not going to tell you your business isn't hard work. But if you're going to spend your life toiling away, shouldn't it be for your dream, not someone else's dream?
Yeah, exactly. So really summing it up, it's you don't need a perfect plan. You just need a brave step. You just need to take that step. So for the moms that are listening who has that four corner office but still feels empty as we once did, what's one brave step she can take?
Find a mentor. And let me tell you how you find a mentor. Find a woman that you think has it together, has it all. We all have that, someone in our society. Oh my God, look at Daisy Khan, her podcast. She's got it all together. And honestly, Daisy, and you tell me what you would think, I would call you up and say, hey, Daisy, can I take you to lunch?
I would go to lunch with you.
Yeah. And if they're super busy, because I did run into this sometimes when I was booking corporate execs, I always offer them breakfast. Because people plan everything, but they do not plan breakfast. And so if you get them before lunch or early Saturday morning, I would tell them I'd do their makeup so they could go to their kids' games or something. I would hit them for breakfast and I would just say, let me treat you to breakfast and have some girlfriend time, because a mentor will show you all the shortcuts out of hell, because the mentor's already been to hell and they got the roadmap. So most people, they get to a position where they're in hell, whether it's in their personal relationships or their job or with their kids, and then they end up camping and making s'mores. No, a mentor will tell you, no, here's the way out. And so instead of having to figure out the way, I had mentors that were like, okay, turn this way, do this. Here's what you're doing wrong. A lot of it, Daisy, was relax and be present. Because when you're a type A woman,
and believe in yourself. Once you that orientation of just believing in yourself and believing that you actually can do something, that's like free will in action, right?
Yeah. Or having someone believe in you. So having me say, what, Daisy, you are going to be successful. I see, because you have an assistant. You followed up on this podcast. When I showed up, you were there. Because I can't tell you, like, I do podcasts and guests are supposed to show up and they don't show up. And I'm like sitting here going, you had like 5 emails from me. And at any of these points, you could have told me you weren't coming, but just those kind of things. So someone acknowledging, going like, these are the little steps that really make a difference. Like show up, say yes, take some action. Why not you? Why not now?
Well, Rina, you are a real mom boss. Not only have you built income, you've reclaimed your time, you've redefined success, and you're aligned your life with what truly matters, faith, family, and purpose. And so I've taken some lessons from today's discussion. And as a wrap up, I want to share those lessons with the listeners that I'm personally walking away with. That external success means nothing if your heart and soul is not in it. Right? Asking yourself that profound, on my last day, what will I wish I'd done more of? And letting that question guide you. And don't mistake fear for a wrong decision. Even the right leap can feel shaky at first. And financial sacrifice is temporary, regret is permanent. And for moms and dads out there, I think there's a beautiful lesson. Your kids won't remember the stuff you bought, but they'll certainly remember your presence. And I would choose presence, as Rina has just mentioned, that she spent a lot of time with her kids and she's present. She's shaping their minds, their hearts, their souls. And with the close, Rina, I want to really thank you. I'm going to put her book on in the notes below and social in the show notes. Rina, I really want to thank you, and to everybody listening. And if you'd like to say some parting words to our guests.
My favorite building in the whole world, I've traveled the whole world, is the Sheesh Mahal in Lahore. So everyone's heard of the Taj Mahal, Taj meaning crown, Mahal meaning large house or palace. The Sheesh Mahal is a mirrored palace. So Sheesh meaning mirrors and Mahal meaning palace. Now, do you remember in the old days? So imagine this palace. All the walls are tiny, tiny mirror mosaics. The ceilings are tiny, tiny mirror mosaics. And in the olden days, they would take one candle, and one candle reflected off all those mirrors and lit up the palace.
It is an amazing sight, actually.
Amazing sight. Now, okay, so we have Daisy approval. What if you are a candle and the world is just a bunch of mirrors? So if one candle can light up a palace, your light can change the world.
Is there something that you are doing right now that you want to share with the audience?
Absolutely. So I am teaching women right now how to use AI, leverage AI for income, especially from home. And my biggest thing is you claim your authority. So just pretend you're that woman 5 or 10 years from now. And that's who you should show up with. And AI can help you do it.
And also, I think that this will also take away the fear of AI, right? Everybody thinks that they're going to get replaced, but you have no idea. There might be a career opportunity for you through AI.
And you're not going to get replaced, Daisy, if you control AI. You're the one that knows how.
Your own potential income streams. You can make it work. So they can just go to your website.
Yeah, RinaMotivates.com. And that's my website. And you can find out everything about me. And my email is rinamotivates@gmail.com. So everything's Rina Motivates, because I want to motivate you to get your dream, whatever it is. Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me on Wise Women. If something stirred in you today, don't let it stop here. Share this episode with someone who needs it. Reflect on what resonated for you, and definitely plant one seed of change, however small. Remember, you do matter, and your actions have a ripple effect. But none of us can rise alone. To explore more resources and ways to get involved, do visit my website, daisycon.com. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review, because every click is your way of amplifying this message to others. Wisdom isn't just heard, my friends, it's lived. So let's live it. Until next time, stay wise and stay rooted.